Introduction: when healthy isn't really healthy. When we reach our 50s, most of us start paying more attention to our health. We watch our diet, exercise more, and often reach for foods labeled healthy, thinking they'll protect us from heart disease, high cholesterol, and blood pressure problems. But here's the shocking truth: not all foods marketed as healthy are actually good for your heart. In fact, some of them can silently damage your arteries, increase inflammation, and even raise your risk of heart attacks. Today, we're diving deep into 4 popular so-called health foods that many people over 50 eat every day, without realizing the harm they may be causing. And don't worry, we'll also talk about what to eat instead to truly protect your heart and keep your energy levels high well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Chapter 1: The Hidden Truth About Healthy Foods. When you walk through a supermarket, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the labels shouting promises of better health. Boxes are splashed with words like low-fat, cholesterol-free, all-natural, or heart-smart. At first glance, it seems like the food industry is on your side, helping you make better choices. But here's the uncomfortable truth: not all healthy foods are created equal. The problem isn't just what's inside the box, it's the way companies present their products. Food manufacturers have entire marketing teams dedicated to making you believe something is good for your heart when, in reality, it's working against you. For example, a granola bar may feature pictures of oats, almonds, and honey on the front, yet if you flip it over, the ingredient list starts with sugar, corn syrup, and palm oil. The hidden culprits inside healthy foods. When you peel back the label, what you often find are 4 recurring offenders. Added sugars, and not just the obvious kind. They come under dozens of disguises like evaporated cane juice, brown rice syrup, agave nectar, or even fruit concentrate. To your body, sugar is sugar, and too much of it fuels inflammation, raises triglycerides, and damages arteries. Refined oils, like soybean, sunflower, or canola oil. While they sound harmless, these oils are heavily processed, stripped of nutrients, and overloaded with omega-6 fatty acids. When your body's balance between omega-6 and omega-3 tips too far, it triggers chronic inflammation, one of the silent drivers of heart disease. Excess sodium, used not only for flavor but as a preservative to extend shelf life. Sodium itself isn't evil, but in excess it increases fluid retention, raises blood pressure, and puts extra strain on aging arteries. Artificial additives, stabilizers, emulsifiers, food dyes, and preservatives. Many of these don't provide any nutritional value but do add stress to your body's detox systems, indirectly impacting your cardiovascular health. Why this matters more after 50. At 25, your body is more forgiving. Your metabolism works faster, your arteries are more flexible, and your cells recover more quickly from damage. But after 50, everything changes. Metabolism slows down, meaning your body stores excess sugar and calories more easily as fat. Blood vessels stiffen with age, so they're more vulnerable to damage from high blood pressure or inflammation. Nutrient absorption declines, making every bite of food matter more than before. Hormonal shifts, like reduced estrogen in women or lower testosterone in men, further increase heart risks. This means a food that looks harmless, maybe even beneficial, can have outsized negative effects on someone in their 50s, 60s, or beyond. What a 20-year-old can get away with eating might silently push an older adult closer to hypertension, high cholesterol, or clogged arteries. That's why we need to be far more careful about what's marketed as healthy. And with that in mind, let's look at the first so-called health food that deserves a second look. Chapter 2: Health Food Number 1: Granola and Breakfast Cereals. For decades, granola has worn the crown of the healthy breakfast. It's crunchy, it's packed with oats, sometimes it's sprinkled with nuts or dried fruit, and it often comes in earthy-looking packaging that screams natural. If you're over 50 and trying to eat better, you might reach for it thinking it's the perfect swap for bacon and eggs. But here's the problem: most granola and breakfast cereals are sugar traps disguised as health food. The sugar bomb in your bowl. On average, a single serving of granola can contain 10 to 15 grams of sugar, and keep in mind, most people don't stick to the tiny, recommended serving, on the box. A casual bowl can easily hold 400 to 500 calories and 20 grams of sugar, the equivalent of eating a couple of frosted donuts. Even the low-fat, or organic, versions aren't much better. Food companies often lower fat but increase sugar to make up for lost flavor. The result? A breakfast that causes blood sugar spikes and mid-morning crashes. Why this matters for your heart after 50. Blood sugar spikes. When your blood sugar shoots up after a sugary cereal, your body pumps out insulin to bring it back down. Over time, this repeated stress contributes to insulin resistance, which dramatically raises the risk of type 2 diabetes, one of the strongest risk factors for heart disease. Hidden calories. Granola is calorie-dense. Just half a cup, which doesn't look like much in a bowl, can have 200 calories. Add milk or yogurt, and you can unknowingly consume half your daily calorie needs before 9 a.m. That makes weight management, already more challenging after 50, even harder. Chronic inflammation. Sugar isn't just about calories. High sugar intake triggers inflammation inside blood vessels. Think of it like small fires damaging the lining of your arteries day after day. Over time, this makes it easier for cholesterol to stick and form plaques, setting the stage for heart attacks. The sneaky part of healthy cereal. Dried fruit. While fruit itself is healthy, dried fruit in cereal is often coated with sugar or treated with preservatives. A handful of dried cranberries can contain as much sugar as a handful of candy. Roasted nuts. Nuts are great for your heart, but not when roasted in refined oils and coated with salt. Suddenly, the benefits are overshadowed by sodium and inflammation-causing fats. High-protein cereals. Many brands add isolated soy protein or whey concentrates. While protein is important, these cereals still carry the same sugar and sodium issues. Real-life example. Imagine this: Mary, 62, decides to switch from bacon and toast to healthy granola with almond milk. She feels proud of her choice. But after 2 months, her blood sugar readings are higher, she's gained 3 pounds, and her doctor warns her about rising triglycerides. Mary didn't realize that her health food breakfast was quietly working against her heart. Better alternatives. The good news is you don't have to give up a tasty breakfast. Here are smarter swaps. Overnight oats. Use plain oats, chia seeds, and fresh berries. Sweeten naturally with a slice of banana or a drizzle of honey. Homemade granola. Bake plain oats with cinnamon, a handful of nuts, and just a touch of honey or maple syrup. You control the sugar and oil. Greek yogurt with fruit. High in protein and probiotics, Greek yogurt with blueberries, raspberries, or strawberries is both delicious and heart-friendly. Savory breakfasts. Don't forget eggs, avocado toast, or even a veggie omelette as options that stabilize blood sugar instead of spiking it. Chapter 3, Health Food Number 2, Plant-Based Meat Alternatives. The plant-based revolution is here. From burgers that bleed like beef to sausages that sizzle on the grill, supermarkets are filled with plant-based alternatives. And it's easy to see the appeal. Red meat is linked to heart disease, so surely swapping to a plant-based burger must be better, right? Not so fast. While a diet rich in whole plant foods is fantastic for your heart, most processed plant-based meat substitutes are a different story. They often fall into the same category as junk food, ultra-processed, high in sodium, and full of additives. The sodium trap. One plant-based burger patty can contain 500 to 800 milligrams of sodium. For perspective, the American Heart Association recommends no more than 1,500 milligrams per day for people with heart risk. That means a single burger could account for more than half your safe daily intake. Over time, this excess sodium raises blood pressure, strains the arteries, and makes strokes and heart attacks more likely. The oil problem. To mimic the juiciness of meat, manufacturers often rely on refined oils like canola or sunflower oil. These oils are cheap, easy to process, and provide the right mouthfeel, but they come with a downside: too much omega-6 fatty acid. While omega-6s aren't bad on their own, the typical Western diet already contains far too many compared to omega-3s. The imbalance fuels inflammation, which damages arteries over time. Additives, preservatives, and flavor chemistry. To recreate the taste of meat, companies use all kinds of lab-created flavor enhancers, stabilizers, and texturizers. While not toxic in small amounts, eating them regularly introduces compounds that your body doesn't need and that may interfere with digestion, gut balance, and overall metabolic health. The catch: not all plant-based eating is bad. It's important to separate processed substitutes from whole plant foods. A lentil soup, a chickpea salad, or a black bean chili is fantastic for your heart. These are naturally rich in fiber, antioxidants, and plant protein. The problem is when we replace meat with processed patties that are nutritionally closer to fast food than to whole plants. Real-life scenario. Take Robert, age 67. After reading about the benefits of cutting back on red meat, he starts eating plant-based sausages 3 times a week. He assumes he's doing his heart a favor. But during his next checkup, his doctor notices his blood pressure has risen. Robert was unknowingly consuming an extra 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams of sodium per week from those sausages alone. What to eat instead? If you enjoy the idea of meat alternatives, try these instead. Homemade black bean or chickpea burgers, simple to make, packed with protein and fiber, and naturally low in sodium. Lentil stews and curries, hearty, filling, and loaded with plant-based goodness that protects your arteries. Grilled mushrooms or eggplant slices, they provide a savory, meaty texture without additives. Tofu or tempeh marinades, when prepared with herbs, garlic, and spices, these whole soy foods are nutrient-dense and heart-friendly. Chapter 4, Health Food Number 3, Flavored Yogurts. Yogurt has long been advertised as a cornerstone of a healthy diet. It's often associated with probiotics, gut health, calcium for bones, and protein for satiety. On the surface, it looks like a perfect choice, especially for people over 50 who want to protect their digestion, strengthen bones, and maintain muscle mass. But here's the catch: not all yogurts are created equal. While plain, unsweetened yogurt, especially Greek yogurt or kefir, can indeed support gut and heart health, flavored yogurts are a very different story. The sugar trap in yogurt. Many flavored yogurts contain as much sugar as a dessert. A single 6-ounce container may have 18 to 25 grams of sugar. To put that into perspective, that's equivalent to 4 to 6 teaspoons of sugar. A standard candy bar has about the same amount. If you eat one of these yogurts daily, you're consuming over 7 pounds of added sugar every year, just from yogurt alone. For adults over 50, this is particularly harmful because blood sugar spikes become more dangerous. Aging decreases insulin sensitivity. A blood sugar spike that a 20-year-old can handle may push a 60-year-old closer to prediabetes or diabetes. Sugar feeds inflammation. High sugar intake increases C-reactive protein, CRP, a marker of inflammation strongly linked to heart disease. Triglyceride levels rise. Excess sugar is converted into fat in the liver, raising triglyceride levels in the blood, which is a direct risk factor for heart disease. The low-fat marketing trick. Many flavored yogurts proudly carry a low-fat label, which sounds heart-friendly. But what's really happening? Fat is replaced with sugar or corn starch. Manufacturers know that removing fat makes yogurt taste bland, so they pump it with sugar, fruit syrups, and thickeners to make it palatable. The result: you end up consuming a product higher in sugar and less satisfying, which ironically makes you hungrier and more likely to overeat later. The artificial sweetener problem. To capture the sugar-free audience, some brands replace sugar with artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, or acesulfame potassium. While they don't add calories, studies show they can disrupt gut microbiome balance, and unhealthy gut increases inflammation and may indirectly affect heart health. Confuse appetite regulation. Tricking your brain into expecting sugar can lead to increased cravings later. Raise insulin response in some individuals, which negates the zero sugar promise. What to eat instead? Instead of reaching for a brightly colored, fruit-flavored yogurt cup, try these alternatives. Plain Greek yogurt plus fresh fruit, you control the sweetness. Add blueberries, strawberries, or raspberries for natural antioxidants and fiber. Plain kefir, a fermented milk drink richer in probiotics than yogurt, excellent for digestion and immunity. Just make sure it's unsweetened. Homemade parfait, layer plain yogurt with chia seeds, walnuts, and fresh fruit. It feels indulgent but is genuinely heart-healthy. Key takeaway: if the yogurt you're eating has a cartoon, a celebrity endorsement, or comes in a dessert-like flavor, strawberry cheesecake, cookies and cream, it's not a health food. It's candy in disguise. Chapter 5, Health Food Number 4, Heart-Healthy Vegetable Oils. Walk into any supermarket, and you'll see shelves filled with bottles of vegetable oils labeled with claims like cholesterol-free, perfect for your heart, made from natural seeds. At first glance, these oils, canola, sunflower, corn, soybean, safflower, sound like smart choices. After all, they come from plants, not animals, so they must be healthier than butter or lard, right? The truth is far more complicated. Why refined vegetable oils are a problem? Most vegetable oils sold today are refined, bleached, and deodorized. That means chemically extracted. Manufacturers use high heat and solvents like hexane to pull oil out of seeds. This process strips away nutrients and creates harmful byproducts. High in omega-6 fatty acids, while omega-6s are essential in small amounts, modern diets contain 20 times more omega-6s than omega-3s, creating a dangerous imbalance. This imbalance fuels chronic inflammation, the root cause of heart disease. Oxidation under heat: these oils break down when cooked, producing toxic aldehydes and free radicals that damage cells and blood vessels. The aging factor: why oils hurt more after 50. Your body's resilience against oxidative stress declines as you age. That means arteries are more vulnerable to oxidative damage. Antioxidant defenses weaken. Your body struggles to neutralize free radicals. Chronic inflammation hits harder, speeding up atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries. So while a younger person might get away with consuming fried foods in soybean oil, a person over 50 pays a much higher price in terms of heart health. Hidden sources of vegetable oils. Even if you don't pour these oils into your pan, you're likely eating them every day. They hide in store-bought salad dressings, mayonnaise, packaged snacks and chips, baked goods, cookies, muffins, crackers, restaurant meals and fast food. What to use instead? Fortunately, there are heart-protective alternatives. Extra virgin olive oil, rich in polyphenol and antioxidants. Numerous studies show it lowers heart disease risk. Best used raw, salads, drizzling, or on low heat. Avocado oil, stable at high heat, rich in monounsaturated fats, and nutrient-dense. Great for sautéing. Coconut oil, in moderation, while high in saturated fat, it's more stable under heat and less inflammatory than processed vegetable oils. Grass-fed butter or ghee, sparingly, surprisingly, in moderation, they can be safer than chemically processed oils. Key takeaway: just because a label says cholesterol-free doesn't mean it's heart-healthy. Cholesterol was never the real villain, inflammation is. Chapter 6, The Domino Effect of Healthy Food Traps. Now that we've covered 4 major, healthy foods that aren't so healthy after all, let's step back and see the bigger picture. The domino effect explained. Eating these foods doesn't just cause isolated problems. They set off a chain reaction that impacts your entire body. Weight gain: excess sugar and calories from granola, yogurt, or plant-based meats lead to extra pounds. Even small, steady weight gain increases the risk of high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. High blood sugar repeated spikes from sweetened foods damage blood vessels, making them stiffer and narrower. Chronic inflammation oils, sugar, and additives fuel low-grade inflammation that silently damages the heart and accelerates aging. Nutrient deficiencies. When you eat ultra-processed foods, you crowd out nutrient-dense options like leafy greens, fish, beans, and whole grains. This leaves your immune and cardiovascular systems weaker. Why over 50 matters more. At 20, your metabolism is forgiving. At 30, your body still bounces back. But after 50, your arteries have already endured decades of wear and tear. Your metabolism slows, so extra sugar and calories turn into fat more easily. Your hormone balance shifts, making blood pressure and cholesterol harder to control. Your body's natural ability to repair damage is slower. This means that every poor food choice you make after 50 has greater long-term consequences than it did earlier in life. Awareness is key. The scariest part. Many people think they're making the right choices because of clever marketing. They swap bacon for a plant-based burger, choose low-fat yogurt, or drizzle sunflower oil on a salad, thinking they're protecting their hearts. In reality, they're doing the opposite. But awareness changes everything. Once you know the traps, you can make smarter swaps that protect your heart and extend your health span. Key takeaway: you don't need to eat a perfect diet. You simply need to stop falling for the foods that pretend to be healthy while quietly damaging your heart. Chapter 7: What to eat for true heart health. When it comes to nutrition, simplicity is often the most powerful approach. Instead of falling for labels like low-fat, heart-healthy, or cholesterol-free, focus on whole, nutrient-dense foods that actually work with your body. These foods don't just fill you up, they actively protect your arteries, reduce inflammation, balance your blood pressure, and nourish your heart muscle. Let's dive deeper into some of the best categories of heart-protective foods. 1. Leafy greens, nature's blood pressure medicine. Spinach, kale, arugula, collard greens, and Swiss chard aren't just salad fillers, they're nutritional powerhouses. Nitrates in leafy greens convert into nitric oxide in your body, which helps blood vessels relax and widen, lowering blood pressure naturally. Magnesium and potassium support heart rhythm and fluid balance. Vitamin K helps regulate calcium, preventing artery calcification, a major risk factor for heart disease. Backhand index pointing right tip: add a handful of spinach to your morning smoothie, sauté kale with garlic as a side dish, or mix arugula into your omelets. 2. Fatty fish, the omega-3 superstars. Salmon, sardines, mackerel, anchovies, and trout are among the best foods you can eat for your heart. Omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA reduce triglycerides, lower blood pressure, stabilize heart rhythm, and reduce plaque buildup in arteries. Protein and vitamin D support muscle mass and bone health, which are crucial as we age. Studies consistently show that people who eat fish at least twice per week have a lower risk of heart attack and stroke. Backhand index pointing right tip: if fresh fish isn't accessible, canned sardines or mackerel in olive oil are affordable and easy to add to salads or whole grain crackers. 3. Berries, antioxidants in every bite. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries are tiny heart protectors. Anthocyanins in berries reduce oxidative stress and improve blood vessel function. Fiber helps lower LDL, bad cholesterol. Low glycemic impact means they won't spike your blood sugar, making them safe even if you're pre-diabetic. Backhand index pointing right tip: instead of reaching for cookies or flavored yogurt, have a bowl of plain Greek yogurt topped with fresh berries. 4. Nuts and seeds, healthy fats for healthy arteries. Walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, and almonds are nutrient-dense snacks that support cardiovascular health. Omega-3s, plant-based ALA reduce inflammation. Magnesium and potassium regulate blood pressure. L-arginine in nuts boosts nitric oxide production for artery flexibility. Studies show that just a handful of nuts per day can reduce heart disease risk by 20 to 30%. Backhand index pointing right tip: keep a small container of raw nuts in your bag to avoid reaching for processed snacks. 5. Whole grains, the fiber advantage. Unlike refined grains, whole grains like quinoa, oats, and brown rice retain their bran and germ, which are rich in nutrients. Soluble fiber binds to cholesterol in the digestive tract, helping flush it out. Steady blood sugar control reduces strain on your arteries. Minerals like magnesium and iron support heart muscle function. Backhand index pointing right tip: swap white bread for whole grain bread, and start your day with oats topped with nuts and berries. Bottom line, a heart protective diet isn't about gimmicks or restrictive rules. It's about choosing foods that come as close to their natural state as possible: colorful vegetables, high-quality proteins, healthy fats, and slow-digesting carbs. Chapter 8: Lifestyle Habits That Work with Your Diet. While food is the foundation of heart health, your daily habits determine how effectively that nutrition works. Think of it this way: food builds the material for a healthy body, but lifestyle determines how well you use it. After 50, combining diet with smart habits makes the difference between just surviving and truly thriving. 1. Daily movement, the heart's best friend. Your heart is a muscle, and like any muscle, it needs regular activity to stay strong. Walking improves circulation, strengthens the heart, and is gentle on aging joints. Swimming or water aerobics are excellent low-impact exercises that also improve lung capacity. Yoga and Tai Chi improve flexibility, reduce stress, and support balance, reducing fall risk as you age. Backhand index pointing right tip: aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate movement per week. That's just 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. 2. Quality sleep, your body's repair cycle. Sleep isn't just about rest, it's a time when your body performs deep repair. During sleep, blood pressure naturally drops, giving your arteries a break. Sleep regulates hormones like cortisol and insulin, which affect weight and heart risk. Poor sleep is linked to a higher risk of arrhythmia, hypertension, and heart attack. Backhand index pointing right tip: prioritize 7 to 8 hours of sleep by creating a calming nighttime routine, dim lights, limit screens, and keep your bedroom cool and quiet. 3. Stress management, protecting your heart from cortisol. Chronic stress keeps cortisol high, raising blood pressure, blood sugar, and inflammation. Over years, this stress silently damages the heart. Effective stress reducers include: meditation or prayer lowers stress hormone levels. Journaling clears mental clutter. Deep breathing exercises activate the parasympathetic nervous system, calming the heart. Backhand index pointing right tip: even 5 minutes of daily stress relief can significantly reduce cardiovascular strain. 4. Regular check UPS, prevention is power. Knowledge is your strongest shield. Regular health screenings help catch issues before they become dangerous. Blood pressure checks: high blood pressure is silent but deadly. Cholesterol and triglyceride tests monitor your lipid profile. Blood sugar tests detect prediabetes before it turns into diabetes. Backhand index pointing right tip: don't skip yearly physicals. A simple test could add years to your life. Chapter 9: How to transition away from fake health foods. Change is never easy, especially when food habits have been with you for decades. But here's the good news: you don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Small, steady shifts are far more sustainable. Step 1: start slow. Swap flavored yogurt for plain yogurt topped with berries. Replace sugary cereal with overnight oats. Trade vegetable oil for extra virgin olive oil. Small wins build momentum. Step 2: cook at home. When you prepare meals at home, you control the ingredients. You can choose whole grains instead of refined ones. You can season with herbs and spices instead of salt. You can cook with olive oil instead of industrial seed oils. Cooking also reconnects you with food, making you more mindful of what goes into your body. Step 3. Read labels like a detective. Marketers are clever, but you can outsmart them. Look beyond the flashy, heart-healthy label and check the fine print. Sugar aliases: cane syrup, maltose, agave nectar. Refined oils: soybean, sunflower, corn oil. Sodium overload: anything with more than 20% of your daily sodium per serving. Backhand index pointing right: if the ingredient list is longer than a paragraph, it's probably not heart-friendly. Step 4. Plan snacks in advance. Many health food traps happen when you're hungry and in a rush. To prevent this, carry a small pack of almonds or walnuts. Keep fresh fruit at home and work. Prep hard-boiled eggs as a protein-rich grab-and-go option. Preparedness is the best defense against processed convenience foods. Chapter 10. Final thoughts: protecting your heart after 50. Your heart is your body's engine, pumping life-sustaining blood through your arteries every second. By the time you reach 50, it has already beaten over 1.5 billion times. That's a lot of work, and it deserves protection. Here's the reality. Some foods pretend to be healthy but secretly harm your heart. Clever marketing preys on people's desire to do the right thing. But once you understand the traps, you have the power to choose differently. By avoiding sugary cereals and granola, processed plant-based meats, flavored yogurts, refined vegetable oils, you already eliminate some of the biggest hidden threats to heart health. And by replacing them with leafy greens, fatty fish, berries, nuts and seeds, whole grains, you're giving your body the exact fuel it needs to thrive. The big message: healthy aging isn't about deprivation or perfection. It's about making smarter swaps, replacing marketing-driven foods with nature-driven ones. Every choice matters. Every meal is a chance to protect your arteries, support your heart, and extend your life. Backhand index pointing right: remember this: the earlier you start, the better. But it's never too late. Even in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, your body responds positively to better choices. Within weeks of eating smarter, you can see improvements in blood pressure, cholesterol, and energy levels. Your heart is the most faithful organ you'll ever have. It has worked non-stop since the day you were born. Now, it's your turn to give back by treating it with the respect it deserves.